Okay, hello there fellow YouTubers. I am now running my old camera, which I like to nickname Old Bubble Vision, because as you can tell, everything's all bubbly. But anyway, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is I'm going to do a teardown, and I normally don't do videos like that. But in this case, I'm willing to make the exception. I'm going to do this in my kitchen because I don't have enough room yet to do a table or anything, because everything in there is just crazy, all over the place. So I just cleaned off the kitchen counter, moved it all over there, and I'm going to lay it out here. So what is this video about? Well, I'm going to do a teardown of the Delta Gold XT. So, let's get started. Alrighty then. What we have here is a Delta Gold XT Elite series. And we have a cover here, as soon as I can figure out how to get it open. There we go. It has a reset button, a 10 megahertz indicator light, and a power indicator light. Of course, we have a power switch. We have a 5 1/4 inch floppy drive with the lockout mechanism, so I can't close it. And even stranger is it has a little tiny pop-out clock for your real time. Of course, computers today, the clock's built in, so you wouldn't use that much anymore. But back then, before real time clocks, we had it. That's what we had. Looks like there's another door here. I'm not aware of this door, but it's definitely hinged. I wonder. No, yeah, there's a door there. I wonder what that could be. There we go. Oh, that's cool. We've got a model number tag. Let's see, computer, monitor, keyboard. And then we have the technical assistance number, 1-800-346-INFO, which I'm sure that number is no longer in existence. Then we have this cool little pamphlet. I didn't even know this was in here. Here's a quick reference guide. Let's take a look at this. Let's see, we've got table of contents, keyboard functions, let's see, disk copy. That's neat. Tells you all the little quick notes on how to use DOS. Boy, back when there was instruction manuals with stuff, and they weren't written in Jinglish or Chinese craziness. If you want to read these, you can go ahead and pause the video on each one of these frames, but for now we're just going to thumb through it. Format command. Let's see what else. Oh, missed one here. Formatting a double-sided disk. Try disk copy, directory commands. I'm sure anybody that's familiar with DOS will automatically know how to do this, but in case the computer users that didn't know anything about DOS, this was a handy little addition. Printing files, print B, copying a file, deleting a file, renaming a file, and that's it. So this guy gets stored in a little pouch up here. So for now, we'll close that back up, just like that. And it even comes with this little handy dandy screwdriver. It says Delta Gold Computer Products. Now, of course, we're not going to use a screwdriver to take it apart. We're going to use something a little bit more high quality. So, we got a full complement of ports in the back. We've got a standard printer port. We've got a standard video port, and actually, that's a TTL such as CGA or monochrome. Then we have a 25-pin serial port and no expansion cards. Here's the serial number tag, model number, power rating. Doesn't look like it can work in the European systems. So, and it's got a Panasonic fan. It definitely won't work in European systems. So sorry for those Euro guys, but it won't work. And then there is the AT or XT plug for the keyboard. And then there's the top of it. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and take this bad boy apart. The whole point of this video is to take it apart. So let's do that, shall we? Alright, let's adjust the tripod here. And we'll go ahead and take this thing apart. All I see is 2 screws. I don't see anything more than that. There. That ain't gonna work. It doesn't slip. It goes like this. Well, we have to make sure we don't have a battery in here. And there you go. All removed. What do we have? Let's turn the light on so we can see. There's the screws. Now, what we have here is a standard jumper configuration layout. Switch positions. See what they do. RAM size. Hey, you can go up to 768K RAM. Woohoo! Display type, disable, color, monochrome, high speed, system speed, 10 megahertz and 4.77, 2 disk drives, coprocessor jumper, and serial port jumper. And it shows the various locations on the main board where they are at. Oh, eBIOS chip. There it looks like a couple of proprietary PALs down there. We have an MFM controller card. Let's see who made this one. This looks like Western Digital Corporation or Western Designs. I'm not sure which one would apply here, but it could be one or the other. Let's see. There's our AT power connector. You see hiding down in there. And up, I see capacitors, and I see a clock battery. Definitely see a clock battery. So it looks like this appears to have a real-time chip, but that's strange because on the front of the unit we've got a little clock, so I wonder why. Regardless, there's the LED input board, hard style power switch, because back in these days there was no such thing as soft touch power. You didn't have power management units and features and, you know, fun stuff like that. Let's see, we got a PC speaker, we've got our AT power connector, and we got some capacitors down there, which we will have to pay some attention to soon enough. And we got to get that battery out of there. That looks like a standard CR2032 battery. And a standard floppy connector. It's got your B drive, A drive, and then there's the hard disk drive, and I'm curious as to what type it is. I don't know. I really don't want to rip this thing apart too far. It looks like it has quick release tabs. Pretty rare back in these days. So you know what we're going to do, don't you? This is a teardown video. What we're going to do is we're going to do exactly that. We're going to tear it down. Ooh, there's a ground wire connector. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get a tripod separator up. Let's pull this sucker out of here. Well, it says it's quick release, but it doesn't seem like it's that simple. However, ta-da! There she is. What we have here is a standard 5 1/4 inch drive. See who made this drive. can see a bunch of Hitachi parts. We've got a Hitachi HA 16642MP. That appears to be the servo head controller IC. The other two, that's a buffer or an address decoder. I'm not sure what that one is. There's the stepper motor. Matsushita. How should I guess? It's Panasonic. Wow, that's funny. It's got a JVC motor, but yet it says Matsushita. Victor Company of Japan. Japan Victor Company. That's what JVC stands for. I didn't know that. Number 7730. So this would have been 1987, because it definitely wouldn't be 1977. It's too new for that. Anyway, let's set that aside. And let's see what else we have in here. ST238. That is a standard Shugart mechanism, I think. I'm not entirely sure. It's an MFM drive. It wouldn't be ROL. But I think it's a standard ST251 interface. Well, this is a 238. Out she comes. Let's see. Back in these days, we would have had, hold on, assembled in Thailand. Oh boy. Even in these days, they weren't built here. Go figure. It is a Seagate. What do you expect? Alrighty then, it's an ST238R, and we have an error map chart. These are all the cylinders and head locations where there's bad sectors, because back in these days, you didn't have a G list and a P list. The bad sectors were mapped and marked, and they were pre-programmed into the drive's controller card. Here, I think, I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I've done anything with this computer, or these computers. So that very well may be the case. We've got a hard disk drive here that's not exactly kosher. So there's plenty of bad sectors. Which brings me up to another hard drive that's actually not part of this video, but I'll go ahead and mention it. I picked this one up at the Dayton Hamvention. And it's strictly for a cover plate, because I don't have the control card for this thing. But it has the same P-list table, but there's no markings on it. See, this was Dayton 1986. This is a year younger than I am. Wow. 40 megabyte. It looks like it's an NEC drive, NEC Corporation. Nice complement of transistors and ICs. But back to this one. This one I think is only a 20 meg. So if I wanted to, I could take this one and format it and stick it in there and make it 40 megs. But I think I could keep it original and then just leave this original drive in it, because this drive is good. I did boot this thing up a few months ago and it did fire up at the shop from where I picked it up. Well, it could use some RAM. I think I might max out the RAM. What do we have in here? We've got a MT 1259-12. I am unsure what that is, but I'm sure I can find out soon enough. And let's see what else we have. We've got a Mitsubishi chip. No, that's not Mitsubishi. What is that? That is an MT86M001. Looks like cache ROM or cache RAM. Oh, and the processor's underneath that controller card. It is under there. That looks like the processor. Possibly. Let's see. What do we have? We've got another jumper here, which was indicated as JP1. JP1 is not marked. Anyway, there's the PALs. Oh, there's a whole complement of them under there. Let's take this out of the way and see what else we got. You know what? Let's go ahead and remove this card. This is a particularly rare machine, so I don't want to do too much to it. That would ruin integrity of it, but again, it's a teardown video, so that means you tear it down, whether you like to or not. So we pull out our controller card for the MFM. Whoa, that was bad. What was that? Oh, I see what they did there. That holds the card in with the slot. So this is a standard slot cover. Oh no! Uh-oh, spaghetti-o. Yep, maybe doing an autopsy in the kitchen is not a good idea. But is it a good idea to do this? Not particularly. But we're going to do it anyway. So, Western Digital copyright date 1988. Looks like the 20th week of 1989 is when this board was printed, or at least it was printed if not manufactured. Firmware versions and stuff like that. It's a Western Digital controller, but it's a Seagate drive. And if I'm not mistaken, back in the MFM days, I think if you will level formatted this drive with this card, you had to leave these two together. Otherwise, they wouldn't work anymore. So if I put a Seagate card in there, or if I put an NEC card in there, or any other card that's different from this Western Digital card, it won't recognize the formatting on that drive. I could be wrong though, but I'm thinking that was the case. I can't remember. It's been a while, but it's hard to say. Alright, now that that's out of the way, let's take a look. We can add some RAM expansion in there for certain. But then what we have here is a UM6845 Paradise. Yeah, there's a proprietary chip. TAI 3554A. And there's another chip down there that looks like it's a match to this one. This might be part of the video generation circuitry, because if I follow the traces, they run right up into it. So where's the processor? It must be up under all of that crap. Oh man, I am not taking all that out. That's a lot of work. That is a ton and ton of work. Ooh. Decisions. Do I take it that far apart? Because they make the drives easy to service, but they don't make it easy to get this whole inner cage assembly out. I wonder if I can get, well, let's see, because there's the power supply screws. There's 3 of those, and the power supply comes out. And then there's a screw down here. And then I think there's another screw here. It appears so. And nope, this is not held in. Nope, not by anything. So I wonder what holds this cage assembly in. No, it doesn't come apart. It's welded. Yeah, it's welded. It doesn't come apart. Then how in the heck? Hold on. These two come out. That releases that metal bracket away. You know what I think I have to do? Is that one piece? No. Oh yeah, power supply is Delta, made in Taiwan. Maybe Taiwan stuff was built good back then, but it damn sure isn't now. Not by a long shot. Let's see. Yeah, this is all stamped in. See? This is one, so you can't get to the board from the top. And then how do you pull it out? Unless, of course, no. That won't work either. How in the heck do you pull that out? Wow. Hold on. There's a U-shaped slide. Oh, I know how it comes out. Yep, I know how it comes out. Yeah, well, I ain't got a tool for that. Here, it's at the shop. But we have to take these off. And we have to slide the board this way and that way. Yeah, what a pain in the ass. Why would you design something like that? Really? Delta Gold custom labeled ISA slot, well, 8-bit slots. And it looks like these capacitors are starting to show signs of leakage. So I'm definitely going to have to get in there and replace them. Oh, we've got an IDC connector slot. Yeah, it's connected by IDC, so this card is proprietary. Of course, I wouldn't have thought of anything different. But I got a screw there in the middle here. Got 2 screws here. I think there's a screw in the rear. Yeah, right there. If I take those 4 screws out, take all these out, this motherboard should come out. Which actually I need to do because I have to get to those capacitors. So we'll move our fucking cable out of the way. Yeah, there's our grounding lug. And everything should be good there. So I'll be right back so I can go get the tools. Alrighty then. Now I've got the screws taken out of the back. Finally, I'm going to go grab some tools to do that. So let's see what else we're going to do. Took that off. And that off. Make sure I put that in there the right way. Okay, it's keyed, so I can't screw that up. AT connectors off. Oh yeah. Pulled the ISA expansion off. And a nice, wonderful assortment of electrolytics, which you can just about be sure they're leaking. I'm not seeing any fluid leaks on that. However, I'm seeing a ton of them, especially in the hard disk drive. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'm going to have to get it in the light. But you'll see a brown, crusty, you see the crustiness on under that cap. Yeah, that's a bad capacitor. There's probably a dozen low profile ones that have to be replaced in there. There's like 5 of them in the floppy drive that have to be replaced. There's 8 of them here that have to be replaced. This is all solid. And there's a bunch of them in here that have to be replaced. So let me reiterate. If you're going to own, keep, and maintain one of these old machines, you're going to have to recap it eventually. Otherwise, you're going to have problems, serious problems. Because the last thing you need, especially if you just watched my last 2 videos, the last thing you need is to, let the capacitors leak all over the place and ruin the motherboard traces and fun stuff like that. And then even worse is the battery. You definitely don't want the battery leaking all over the place. So, see if my theory is correct. See if I can hold this board. Of course not. Well, I wonder where the other cap is here. There it is. Let's see it is. See you. You can't hide from me. You're not allowed. There's probably another one all the way under that power supply. I hope not. Ah, there we go. There we go. Boy, are we stuck. That's why. AT connectors. Oh, that's sharp. That hurt. Okay, what would be holding that? No, it's that stupid AT connector. However did they get that in here? It's beyond me. Let me set you down. I'm going to pull that sucker out of there. Oh, ruined that. No big deal. Alrighty then. Here's what we have. Let's turn this around the correct way. We have a Delta Gold. There it is, 8088. regular 8088 processor, 8250, which I think is a serial controller. Got a 1987 date code, address decoder chipset, a whole bunch of data buffers for the ISA slot, 74 LS244 low speed shot key, which those are probably the data buffers to the slot, and then there's a whole bunch of them going here, which I think are also, I think they're GALs, PAL, GAL, that runs the video stage, because I think this is all video circuitry, and there's the video ROM. Yeah, that makes sense. This is the video processing right here. Then there's, of course, there's the parallel port. Oh, and then I'm sure there's a real-time chip, MM, National Semiconductor, 58167AN. And then there's a UPD 765AC from NEC Microelectronics. I'm not sure what that would be. I don't know. I haven't looked any of these up. Let's see. First things first. That's a BP 2330 battery. Britain. So, before we run into any more difficulties, those are sharp. Wow. Wow, that hurts. Before we run into any more difficulties, let's pull this battery out and get rid of it. Yeah. Oh, it's dead. Deader than hell. This is a Crompton Vidor. Never heard of them. It's a BP 2330, which I'm pretty sure a regular old CR 2032 will fit in there. But yeah, got a perfect spot for that. Garbage. So, as I was saying, if you to preserve the life of these machines, if you're going to own and use one, we're going to have to replace these capacitors. These are 100 microfarad at 25 volts, which are common off the shelf, so I can replace those relatively easily. And also, take note that you need to copy any EEPROMs that you see, because even though they're regular EEPROMs and they're likely good now, they probably won't be very long, because we know that these EEPROMs suffer bit rot after they get so old, and I'm sure you're not going to find another Delta Gold EEPROM out there. So before I do anything, when I go into the shop tomorrow, when I go back to work, I'll probably take this chip and copy it. That way I have it handy, you know, that way I don't run into this problem. And then I'm going to obviously recap these. I'm going to change all the caps on here, and of course all the capacitors between those two drives. And then last but not least, the power supply. Change the caps inside there. So got to get me an order started and get some parts in so I can fix that. This has been a teardown of a Delta Gold XT Clone. Thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a comment.